Hey gang, what's happening? So figured I'd show off today these MAGO OTF knives. They're stiletto style OTFs. These are made in China. Now, as some sites list them as being made in Italy, but they aren't made in Italy. They're totally from China. So anyway, I have three of them here. I got this black one, white pearl one, and this wood handle one. So now quality is usually hit and miss with these things. I mean, out of these three, the best one I've had is this black one here. It hasn't failed me at all. Works okay. One problem with these is sometimes the screws on these things, the hardware on them is usually pretty cheap, so these screws, they're always backing out, so you want to put some blue Loctite on them to keep them in, and that should hold them in, because if you play with these a lot, like watching TV, like flicking them open and closing them like that, eventually the screws, the vibration, it's gonna make them back out, so you just dab a little Loctite on the screws, and it should help it hold up. So this one hasn't failed on me at all. Now, this white pearl one, this was the first one that I got. Now, this one, I mean, it's pretty good. However, sometimes it doesn't always deploy properly. It does that thing where if you like with most OTFs, if you like where it just doesn't deploy, the whole way, and you have to flick it, to get it to lock in place and get it back on the track, but overall, this one, it's held up pretty well for as long as I've had it, and yeah, it's pretty nice. Now they also make 11-inch versions of these. I haven't gotten any of those yet, but and also I've seen they're making a 13-inch OTF now. I've seen on some sites like Blade City, they have a big 13-inch OTF stiletto, which is pretty ridiculous. So I don't know if I'll get one of those, but I might get one at some point. Anyway, in this brown wood one, now this one actually it works, but I have a little story to tell, because at one point this knife broke on me, this wood one. It broke, and I didn't think I'd be able to fix it, but surprisingly I managed to, and this is kind of an interesting story. So one day, I was just fiddling around with it. I was having my coffee in the morning, just sitting and just opening it, like a few times, shooting the blade out. And at one point when I went to shoot the blade open, the blade, it had bounced back, didn't lock up. So I thought, it just misfired, so I figured I'd just flick it, but nothing, and then it wasn't locking up. So I was thinking, oh crap, don't tell me that the spring broke. And so then I went and got my tools. I got my screwdriver, I took the screws out, I took everything apart to see what went wrong, and it wasn't the spring that had broke, it was the little hook that's at the end of the spring carriage, the thing that the spring hooks onto, the little catch that holds the blade in place when it's in the open position. It's the thing that shoots the blade back in to close it. That little piece at the end, that bent piece of metal, it had broke actually at the bend. It had snapped off. So I keep broken knives in my my tool storage closet. I keep broken OTFs and other busted Chinese crap knives and or autos, and stuff with the springs or the mechanism or something had broken. I keep a whole bunch of hardware in there, parts, blades, and screws, and so in case I need parts for to fix another knife that I want to keep. So I looked through all my parts to find something, to see if I could find a new spring carriage for this and a new spring. But what I had, nothing fit this particular knife, so I thought I was screwed. But then I went through my tools and my hardware assortments, and if you've ever gone to Lowe's or Walmart, you know those brass picture hangers that you can buy them in assortments. Like you can, like, there's those things, it's like a piece of brass that you can like nail to a wall to hang pictures on. I got one of those, and this is funny because this took almost a day of effort. I mean, I don't I just what I did was I got one of those brass picture hangers, and I got my Dremel and my drill and everything, and I basically just spent like half the day grinding that thing down. And I was wearing protection, eye protection, and breathing protection mask, because you don't want to be breathing that stuff in. I basically just milled it and drilled it and filed it down, and used my Dremel, and I bent it until finally it was the shape of something that matched the inside spring catch that went inside this knife. So once I got it to that size, I went and got another spring, and I hooked it on to this where I drilled the hole for the spring to hook on. So I did that, got it hooked up to the spring carriage, put it back in, and then put the screws in. Okay, I tried firing it a few times. It wasn't working. So then I sprayed a little oil inside, some WD-40 I sprayed inside to, thinking that would loosen it up. Tried firing it a few more times, and then soon enough, the thing was working again. So, pretty amazing. I did not think I'd be able to fix this, but hey, sometimes I surprise myself. I usually haven't had much luck repairing automatic knives, but this was one of the rare times when I was actually successful. So, I mean, now the thing is, this knife, and to be honest, I mean, I think these things are overpriced. I mean, if I had paid just $20 for this thing, I probably would have just thrown it away. It wouldn't have mattered. I mean, I just figured I can get another one. But since I paid a substantial amount for it, I didn't want to just let it, just have to throw it away, after having it for like a month or two. Like I figured, like I wanted to, at least try to make some effort to save it, if I could. So, and sure enough, my effort, it paid off. I mean, I didn't, it was pretty, I just had to be creative, but sure enough, yeah, I was successful. So that's that. And it fires pretty good now, actually, with what I did. I mean, sometimes if you're holding it straight up, it might not deploy the whole way. You may have to then, it's better to just hold it straight facing outward like this. It works much better. So that's that. And MAGO OTFs. Their quality's pretty hit or miss on these things. I mean, they are cool looking though. I will give you that. So if you get, hopefully if you can find these cheap enough, it's like some people are selling them online for way more than they're worth. So if you can get them for a reasonable price, then yeah, they're worth picking up, definitely. Yeah, so it's like they're a combination of like a modern OTF and an old school Italian stiletto with the bolsters and that. So so that's that. Have a nice evening.